This servant is not your DPS, or at least she's not going to be your main DPS. Da Vinci Ruler, if you want to fit her into your teams, he's basically support if you don't have the actual card support. What I mean by that, if you want to do Skadi looping, but you don't have your own Skadi, you have Skadi off your friends list, and then you're kind of out of options otherwise. You have Asclepius, Paracelsus. Those two combined can work very well. You have other supports like Castoria, especially for quick looping. You have Waver. You have ways to like brute force the farm. What Da Vinci Ruler is going to allow you to do is take some of those 4 stars and literally merge their kits together. I said this about Castoria like years ago. Like Asclepius and Paracelsus together kinda gave you Castoria like effects, but not really. Da Vinci Ruler is actually the better comparison to merging Paracelsus and Asclepius together. She does a lot of what they do for looping, adds her own stuff, doesn't have the same exact highs that those two have, but for an all-in-one unit, Da Vinci Ruler can be your support if you do not have your own Skadi or your own Castoria. I feel if you're solely focused on arts, I do think Paracelsus and Asclepius do the job well enough. And next year we are going to get Shufu, who is pretty much mini Castoria completely, like Castoria's entire kit besides the attack. Shufu's got it for looping support. So Da Vinci is in this weird niche where she's better than Helena for a single target. Because Helena is like more, you're working with more than one DPS. Da Vinci Ruler is kind of like Helena, but like you're focused on the one looping DPS. All right, let's get started. Enough of the rant. 9.15 attack, or what? 9.1k attack. Good starting point. Not the highest, but HP, she's a ruler. She's more tanky. I think this value is okay. It's not super high, but it's not the lowest. She's naturally tanky, so any HP is good HP. Star weight, Sargen, these are normal ruler numbers. Epi charge 0.67% on a 3-hit arts card. Looks nice. Then you see a 3-hit extra attack. Okay, so I know why it's 3 hits. I know why all of these are 3 hits. But it still sucks for gameplay that we have a unit that has a 3-hit extra attack. You're not going to be using Da Vinci for Brave Chains. You shouldn't be using her as your main DPS unless you literally don't have any other options. Like MP1 Luvia can outdamage MP5 Da Vinci very, very easily. So don't build up Da Vinci as your like omni single target DPS, because that's not what her job is. It just isn't. First skill, targeted Omni card buff at 20%. I'm gonna bring up Paracelsus specifically because he gives an AoE arts buff to the party. If you're only concerned about one person looping, because Paracelsus, you can kind of use him as like someone to clear the first wave, and then he's giving his MP game buff to your next looper. Like he just makes it so they don't have to loop 2 waves or 3 waves, just 2. That part of his kit definitely helps, but it keeps him on arts specifically. This is all cards. Buster, you don't get nearly as much with Da Vinci, but it's still there, or if they have Buster face cards. It's low at 20 because it's rainbow and it's targeted. Normally it's 30, but also those are one turn. I think Bakin is 22. Second skill, targetable battery, 30% MP gain. This is literally Castoria's skill on the same cooldown too. It's awesome. She literally has the skill of one of the best farming supports in the entire game. Yes, it's 20%, but so is Castoria's. It's unfortunate that this is her only charge, but at least she has a good charge skill. Sorry, not exactly like Castoria. This is solely targeted. Everything about it is targeted, none of it is AoE. So even then, if you're only concerned about one unit looping, especially if they're quick, because like then you're not doing arch chains, so it doesn't really matter if your support is getting MP or not, unless you're farming with Karen. So for its purposes, it fits. It's not gonna exactly match Castoria's, but it's good enough for what you need. Third skill is what sets Da Vinci apart from those other units, because also, let me come back to the lower star supports. This is for farming. And again, it's not a AoE. This is Asclepius's skills for looping. The second skill, the AoE 30% MP gen, and the AoE 20. Merge, they put it on one skill, and then they made it targeted. So by default, if you have Da Vinci Ruler, the only reason you're using Asclepius is if you don't want to use bond cost, or if you're like not bond cost, if you're harping on the costs for your party, which again is an issue because 3-star is a lot easier to fit in a team than a 4-star. So like I said, those other supports do not give MP damage. And not only does she give MP damage, she gives overcharge. This is really important for any servant that has any kind of ramp up. Say, Muramasa, who actually gets better looping if you give him overkill. I mean, not overkill, overcharge. Overkill obviously will help him loop more. But this starts his looping off stronger. I will say it's very, very awkward to fit Muramasa in the themes simply because of cooldown reasons. You're not gonna you're not gonna have a good time trying to loop 3 waves with Muramasa if you're using Da Vinci Ruler, unless you have one of those low supports to like help you out. Because ideally, Muramasa would want double Castoria. It makes it so like when they pop their MPs, he gets even more arts up and a lot more attack, so he gets overkill really, really quick. If you pair him with Da Vinci Ruler, the only way it works out okay on turn 1 is if you're popping his battery, Castoria's 20, and Da Vinci's. So Muramasa has 30% battery from 1 Castoria. If you are using Fragments of 2004, this might not be an issue. You might be able to loop 70% on the second wave, and then that Castoria 30% is going to get you there. You need to be able to loop 100% though, at least one of those waves. And the wave you don't loop 100% needs to be above 70. So little restriction there, but it is possible. Depending on your Mystico, you might not need to bring another support. It could just be Da Vinci. Getting overkill, easier with MP damage. Overcharge, like if you're using Bhima, you literally gave him a lot of extra damage by raising the overcharge. Passive skills: riding EX, 12% quick up, item construction A, 10% debuff success rate, and magic resist B for a 17.5% debuff resistance. you are going to be able to get all these pen coins. Does it really matter which one you unlock first? I mean, mana loading. Like, if you choose extra attack, you are fixing an issue that shouldn't have been there. Really, like, you're not gonna get much out of doing an extra attack with Da Vinci. You are better off using anyone else's cards, more likely than not, because you really don't care about RMP. It is very RNG. You should not be reliant on Da Vinci, because just like Liz, Saber Liz, she has RNG. Also, Charlotte Corday on her third skill, she has an RNG effect that you can do nothing about. You see it when she does her animation. You know which effect you're gonna get simply by which bullet she pulls out. But she pulls out a random bullet and you get a random effect. You either get crit stars, the party gets 20 gauge at the end of the MP, or everyone gets an attack buff. This attack buff is gonna happen after the MP. Thankfully, the same with this one, otherwise she wouldn't even get the effect of her own MP. This one's unfortunate. This one doesn't matter for an MP, and this one would be screwed if the timing was different. So I don't see them fixing this, the issue with this. I'm pretty sure this is intentional, and it's gonna be oh well. It does stack MP damage from overcharge, so if you pop her MP the same turn you pop her third skill, start here. You just do a little more damage. Here's the ruler. We are able to farm this mat. The eggs suck, but I do know we get a lot of eggs in this event. Actually, do we? Eggs aren't in the lotto box, right? There's surely. No, they're not, because they're in the Gouda rerun raids. Eggs are in Gouda rerun. There's no way they're gonna put them in an event like this. Yeah, her mats are not egregious. They're actually like fairly easy to get. Eggs are the exception, but they're eggs. What do you expect from anything but them? Fonzie, Omni card buff while she's on the field. It is I did not realize how good of an actual looping support she actually is. I hold back on using my Paracelsus, or not Paracelsus, Asclepius in the summer event, or just in general now, because I know he's going to be a summer event servant that's going to always get bond points in summer. Da Vinci fills that role just at a higher cost and gives you more damage. She's not if you're doing art teams, because that AoE 20 does help a lot. Helps significantly Castoria setups, just having that extra 20, they can pop their MP a turn earlier. Da Vinci, the less you rely on meta supports, the more you're trying out experimental builds, the more you'll get out of Da Vinci. I feel like she would get more use outside of the event than other welfares. Valks notwithstanding, and I'm talking about the summer welfares, not anything in general. OG Skadi summer is a mess. Second welfare. Shit, I don't even know who the second welfare was. Oh, Ishtar. Right, Ishtar. Ishtar, bit of a mess too. Jolter, he's single target Buster Berserker. Really good just because of that. Or Hokusai, very good single target Arts Saber. 5. It was Consort You, single target quick Lancer with anti-mail niche. Literally makes Tomomo question her place in the meta that she's getting out damaged easily by 4-star, kind of in her own niche. And then we have Da Vinci Ruler, going back, gonna skip forward. So next year, Summer Valk's literally one of the best farming assassins in the entire game. Outside of the Valks, because any Rider 333 node, you bring the Valks and you are gonna just get your free loot. They're gonna loot fine. Da Vinci having this usability, I think, is just good for her in general. You might use her in 90 plus content or 90 plus plus. You might use her in farming. If you truly want to use her in farming, first and second skills are all you need to lure. Don't worry about this or any of her pens. This isn't going to help with looping that much. 2% difference. Oh well. Over these numbers, which are like they're at specific values for a reason. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Da Vinci. I think she's a really good servant to add into the game. Like, they gave a looping support as a welfare for a farming summer event. Like, what more could you ask for? Especially because she's not card specific at all. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.